Hello everybody, my name is Reed Fisher. I am a professional marathon runner for Adidas and Tinman Elite, and in front of me we have lots of shoes with lots of stripes. If you cannot guess yet, we're going to be going through my shoe lineup for 2025. The first shoe that we're going to talk about is my daily training shoe. This is the SuperNova Prima 2. The Prima 2 just came out probably about a month ago. It's a shoe that, like I said, I do probably 70% of my weekly mileage in this shoe. It's such a workhorse. It's been great. If you wore the Prima 1, you're familiar with it. If you have not worn the Prima 1, go get a pair of Prima 2s. They're great. It's a full, just real cushy, smushy midsole. It's a Dream Strike Plus foam, which is Adidas's daily training foam. Lightweight, really responsive. It's a super critical foam. If you're familiar with the Prima 1 to the Prima 2, is just going to be the upper, so the midsole and the outsole completely unchanged. They just added a bit more cushioning in a few different places, engineered the mesh a little bit differently, and it fits a little bit more, I would say, of a dialed fit now, which is a welcome change. So again, if you're looking for a shoe to just kind of get out the door, if you're newer to running and you want a shoe to just feel good in at a relatively affordable price point, I would recommend the Prima 2. This handles everything up to, I would say, about a moderate effort really, really nicely. Next shoe up is going to be the Adidas Adizero Boston 13. This is one of Adidas's oldest, longest running models of shoe. I've been training in the Boston since a freshman in college, so going on a decade now, which is kind of scary to think about. But the Boston is a great lightweight trainer. It's got a lot of the DNA that you'll see in some of the race footwear off to my right, but it's much more of a training focused shoe. A lot of people will use this as their daily trainer in favor of something like this. I think if your mileage is a little bit lower or if your stability needs are a little bit greater, the Boston 13 is a great fit. It's going to have Adidas's control rods here. Excuse the dirt, as you can tell I've worn these. So the energy rod system mirrors your metatarsals. The materials that they use in the energy rods in the Boston 13 is different than in the Pro 4 and the Evo, which we'll get to in a minute here, but a little bit more flexible to it than some of the race day stuff, which gives you a little bit of play, but also some nice stability in the shoe. Foam wise, we have the same Dream Strike that we have in other models, but then a nice slab of White Strike Pro here up on the top, up underneath the sock liner. So it's going to make this shoe feel a little bit softer, nice in terms of just feeling a little bit snappier. It's the same foam that's in the race day shoe, but a different formulation, so you get that sort of energy return from a super shoe without the, I guess, aggressiveness of a super shoe. And then moving up, this is going to be the SuperNova Rise 2. So this is kind of a sister shoe for the Prima. To me, this shoe is the shoe that I would wear if I were running less than 50 miles per week. If you're getting out the door and you're just going out for anywhere from like a 5K to a 10K run every day, this shoe is ultra plush, ultra premium, super, super comfy. I find for myself, logging 100 plus mile weeks, just doesn't have quite the support I need for those 10 plus mile runs from my recovery days. So I personally use this as what I would call a double shoe. So for my second run of the day, maybe my legs are feeling kind of beat up after a hard workout in the morning, and I just want something that's plush and feels super, super comfy. I'll bust the Rise 2s out and just go float around for 3 to 4 miles, and it feels great. So again, if you're a newer athlete to the sport and you just want a shoe that feels great when you step into it and wants to make you get out the door, Prima 2, or Rise 2, excuse me, is going to be a great fit. Now we're going to move on to the one that I think is kind of right in the middle of everything that we have lined up here. This is Adidas Evo SL. So this is going to be one big old slab of Adidas's Light Strike Pro foam. You'll know that this foam is a little bit less mushy, I would call it, than what's in the Pro 4 now. So it feels a little bit more stable than you're going to find in this shoe, which makes it great for a trainer. You get all of that pop from a super foam, but you still get the stability from a little bit more of a firm super foam, I would call it. There is a small carbon shank that's going to live from about here to about here. Not any extra propulsion per se from that shank, but it does give it some rigidity. If this were just a slab of super foam, I could bend it in half and you wouldn't want to run in it because it would be so unstable. So that shank gives it a little bit more rigidity, some side-to-side stability so that you can not feel like you're going to fall off the side of either shoe. So very mid-pack from a pricing point. It's $150 US here in the States. I think, again, bang for your buck. This shoe will last you probably over 400 miles unless you're really taking it through a torture test and running on sandpapery roads and stuff like that. So durability is super high. The foam's going to last you forever. It can handle everything from plodding around at an easy pace all the way up to marathon effort and a little bit above that even, super comfortably. Looks great. You don't just have to run in it. This is a shoe that I kind of just kick around in because it is just clean. So Evo SL is a new shoe to this lineup, and it's been an awesome shoe to welcome to the Three Stripe family. So starting off with that, this is going to be the Adidas Adizero Adios Pro 4. This is the shoe that I've raced pretty much every race in the last 9 months or so. This is going to be, I would say, their best all-around race day shoe for anybody looking to get into an Adidas racer. This one's quite a bit softer. Adidas reformulated the White Stripe Pro foam that is in here for the 4, and it definitely feels a bit more squishy now. I personally enjoy that feel. I think as a more experienced runner, the foam that was in the 1 through 3, it was really stiff and firm, which for a less experienced runner, you want that stability, especially in the last 10K of a marathon. This could feel a little bit wobbly almost, but for a higher level marathoner, or if you just prefer a softer ground feel, the Pro 4 is a really nice change. I've loved the heck out of this shoe. I think it is by far and away my favorite Adios Pro to date. It's been a dream. If you had any issues with upper fit in the past iterations of the Pro, that's gone. This is probably the best race day upper I've ever had. Bang for your buck. These come in at $250 US, and to me, I think in terms of race day super shoe market, these are going to hold up better than pretty much every other brand's offering. But I think at this point, if you know White Stripe Pro, you're going to know that you'll love these. And then the shoe that's probably gotten the most chatter since its release, this is the Adios Pro Evo 2. The Evo 1 came out in 2023, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the fall, right before the Berlin Marathon, and it debuted with a women's world record in the marathon, so got quite a bit of buzz right away. This is one of, if not the lightest shoe in the running market right now. It's 40% lighter than the already very light Adios Pro 4. This is the shoe that I will likely be running the Tokyo World Championships Marathon in here in a couple months. It's an unbelievably lightweight shoe, as you can see on the bottom here. Adidas uses this liquid rubber, so it's literally just poured onto this outsole. What makes it so lightweight is this foam in the midsole is a variation on the White Stripe Pro that's in the Pro 4. So Evo 2, again, this is a no expenses spared, like a F1 car of the running shoe world. So the final shoe we've got up here is going to be the brand new Adidas Adizero Adios 9. You don't want carbon plates, you don't want a shoe that's going to change your biomechanics, but you want something that still feels super lightweight and snappy. The Adios 9 is a ton of fun. This is now a 27 millimeter stack of the same White Stripe Pro composition that's in the Pro 4, but it does not have a plate in it, so it means you don't have a shoe doing any work for you, it's all you. So this shoe is a shoe that I've dabbled in a little bit. It's super fun to take for like shorter, faster track sessions. I would say if you're a high school or college track athlete looking for a durable flat, something that races and feels like a spike but doesn't have pins and isn't quite as aggressive as a spike, Adios 9 is a super fun offering. And that is the lineup from start to finish. There are a few here in the Adidas offerings that I just honestly don't wear. So there's other shoes out there. If you have any questions about those, I've probably worn them. Almost certainly I've worn them. They just don't make it into my personal rotation. So if you have questions about anything that's not listed up there, drop it in the comments and I will get back to you on it. If you have questions about any of these shoes that I do wear, similarly, let me know. Happy to answer them. So thanks for watching. I hope you find something or several somethings on this table that might sound like a good fit for you to take out for a spin. And if you do, I hope you enjoy them. I'm very partial to the 3-stripe life. They're great shoes. Thanks for watching, guys.